Welcome back to the Java series. Today we are going to be building a calculator. From the last class, I talked about variables and data type, where I said variable is just a reference to a memory location, and data type itself is a representation of the type of data we are storing in that location. Now, we have a folder here called Anybody Can Code, and inside this folder, I want us to create another folder, and name the folder Calculator Project. Calculator Project. Inside calculator project, we want to create a file and name it calculator.java. Java. Now, I want us to open the calculator.java, open it with Notepad, since Notepad is our code editor. Now, the first thing you do when you're writing a Java program is you create your class, public class. You name your class the same name you gave your file, calculator public class calculator. I'm still going to explain the meaning of class, but for now, think of class as just a blueprint of something. Now, like a mood of something. So we're going to continue. Public static void main. Your main is just the entry point to your program. It's just like the starter. So whatever we're writing within this main, this is where we're going to be running the program. Now, there's something called comments. Comments when you are writing a program. Comment is just giving you a description of certain things, giving information of what you are doing. And we have two type of comment here. We have the forward slash, double forward slash like this. So whatever I'm writing here like this is not going to be part of my code. Then we have the forward slash, the longer comments called forward slash asterisk, and we have so I'm going to write different things here. I can move to the next line. And when I want to close that part, I'm going to use forward slash, asterisk, and forward slash like that. So I talked about data type, and the data type in the last class, I mentioned primitive type and reference type. Where I say primitive type is just fundamental types in Java, where other data type is what built upon. So now, example of the primitive type, we have int, we have byte, we have char, we have float, we have double, we have long, short, we have boolean. Now, if you count it, we have just 8 of them here. So this is just a comment. It's not part of my code. If I should run this code, it's not going to affect anything at all. Now, the next thing is, how can we create a variable? Now, remember from the last class, I said creating a variable, the first thing you need is what? In Java now, the first thing you need is you need the type of variable you are creating. For instance, I want to create a variable called number, and number is a variable called number, and I want to assign a value to that variable, like value 20 now. The first thing I did was I named the type now, which is what? I named that, which is int here. Then the name of that variable is what? Number. Then what I'm storing in that variable is what? 20. Remember I said variable is just a reference to a memory location. So if I want to print number, I'm just going to use something like this. This system dot out. This is a way to print. You are printing on the terminal in Java. So system dot out dot print. We can call this variable, the name of that variable now called number, inside that place. Save it. But to run our program, we are using command prompt to run the program. So the first thing you need to do is go into that folder, and the folder is located on the desktop. Cd into Anybody Can Code, cd into calculator project located inside Anybody Can Code. Now we are going to run our program, and what the keyword for running the program is called javac. You run the program calculator.java. This This is converting it to bytecode. Then the next thing is to what? Execute it. Now, just use Java calculator. You can see it printed what 20 on the terminal. Now, since we are writing a calculator, the same way in real life where we have when we can carry out calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, the same thing is applicable in your program. So, for instance, let me write something. Imagine we have int first number, and first number is equal to, let's say, 20. Int second number, and second number is equal to 30. Now, let's say int result of this number is equal to first number. We want to add the numbers together. First number plus what? Second number, like this. So we're going to print the result on the terminal. Save it and go back to your terminal. Run the same program, Java calculator. Then you can see the result is what? 50. So because you can run calculation the same way, you can also do minus, you can subtract, same thing. You can also divide. Okay, let me run this Java minus 50. Okay, I think I did not save it. That's why it's giving me the wrong answer. So let's save it and run it again. You can see minus 10 is the answer. Now, go back to our program. We want to write a calculator. And one of the things you need to understand is when you are writing a program, you are trying to solve a problem, you need to understand algorithm. That's step by step what process of solving a problem, the logical steps involved in solving a particular issue, a problem. That's what we mean by algorithm. And one of the ways to represent algorithm is a pseudocode, which is just a way of representing those logical steps in plain text. Now, I'm still going to talk about algorithm in classes we are going to be having. But for now, we are going to be one of the things we want to do is we want to create the basic things our calculator can do, which is what our calculator should be able to add. Let me write a comment here. Our calculator should be able to add. Our calculator should be able to subtract. Our calculator should be able to divide and multiply two numbers. Just a simple calculator. Now, so clear this one out like this. So before I proceed, I have some things I want to be talking about both in this class and in the next class. And one of them is functions. I'm going to be talking about functions. So we have classes, we have objects, we have function, and we have what? Method. Now, classes, object, function, and what? Method. For this class, I'm just going to be talking about function. Function itself is just a block of what? Reusable code now. So think of function as something that takes in an input and gives us what? Output. Just like the same way our calculator is having different functionality now, where our calculator can add, subtract, divide, and multiply. So in order to create our function, this is one function. We're having a function called the main function inside of our calculator class now. So we're going to be creating different function inside of this within this calculation class. So let me cancel out this part, this comment in this place. So now let's write a function. To write a function or to declare a function, the first thing you need to understand is what? The access modifier of that function. Access modifier is just the level of, is just a way of declaring the level of access you have to that function. I'm seeing what we'll be seeing it as we're writing our code and as we're writing, solving different problem in classes to come and in assignments. So in order to create a function, the first function of this calculator we are creating is what? The add function. Now, public static int add, and your opening curly braces and your closing curly braces. Now, remember I said function itself takes in an input and gives us what? An output. Now, for the input we are going to be taking, the add function, we just want to add, we want to be able to add what? Two numbers. So for the add function, we'll declare a variable that's, I'm calling it a parameter now. The parameter in this place, or what type of what type of data is that add function collecting? Now, the first one is what? Int first number. First number. Second is int second number. So this parameter is what our function will be what add will be collecting. Now, I said functions is a block of reusable code. So we're writing everything within this curly brace. Now, whatever we're writing here, it belongs to the word, the add function. Now, so, and we said our function will collect something and was give us an output. So the output we're expecting is the sum of both numbers now. And what, so the sum of both numbers, we are going to declare a variable. Let's say declare a variable in sum, because we want to store the sum of both numbers inside of that place now. So the sum is first number plus second number like that. And we want to return the result, which is the sum. The result is what? Sum. So when we are returning, I want you to notice something, that for the function main in this place, we have a return type called void. And in this place, we have a return type called what? Int. It's just showing the type of data our add function is going to be what? Returning. Now, so we cannot execute this add function without calling it inside the main. Remember I said the main is just a starter, like the entry point to your project, the entry point to your program, where if you want to execute anything, you'll be writing that thing inside the main. So I want us to test this add function because it's one of the functionalities of our calculator. So now, in order to test the add function, we are going to call that function inside of the main. So let's say int result, and want to store results. We'll call the add function now. Then we want to store the whatever we are returning, whatever our function is giving, or the output it is bringing out. We want to store it inside a variable called what? Result. So now add two numbers, let's say number 20 and 30 now. You can see I called that function here. Don't forget to add your semicolon. Then I'll print the result. System.out.print is going to print the result for us. So print results on the terminal. Don't forget your semicolon. It's very important in Java. So go back to this, to your command prompt, and compile the project. That's the calculator. Then run it. So you can see the result is what? 50. This is just showing that our add function is what? Working. Taking in what? Two numbers and giving us the sum of what? Both number. So why I said function is a block of reusable code. So imagine that we want to add different numbers together now. We want to reuse the add function now. We can as well call it again. You can say int second result equals to what? Add. You call the same function and you pass a new argument. They're called arguments. You're passing a new argument to it. Okay, I want you to add 40 and 70 together. Now, then I want you to print the result. System. We have different type of print. System.out.print. So we have different type of print. Let's say printf. They are called format specifiers. So formatted inputs now. So we want to print. I'm still going to explain this to you in classes to come. So formatted input. Let's say print this is the second result. The second result is D. Second result. Save it, and I want us to be able to identify the second result. Now you can see the first result we're having here is 50. The second result is what? 110. So go back to the code. Now you can see we created a function, a block of reusable code, and we used it what? Twice. Now the same thing is applicable. So I want us to create the second function of our calculator, which is what? Subtract. So public static int, because we're expecting the int is the data type. What are we expecting? What kind of result? What kind of data are we expecting after subtracting two numbers now? So public static subtract int first number, int second number, like that. Your curly brace, because it's a block of reusable code, write it within this place now. So int, let's say the difference, that's the result now, is first number, the difference first number minus second number, like that. So we're going to return that difference now by returning it. So your subtract function is taking two parameters now. That's two arguments. It's going to take it and return the result for us. So in order to execute it, you can see we are writing this whole function within the calculator class. So, and to execute it, we're executing this whole thing inside of our main. So as we move deeper into this Java programming, you see that we can write a calculator as a separate unit. Now, we can now call this whole function inside another project. Imagine having a calculator as a calculator program now, and we now have another program called public class shop, and the shop requires a calculator, so we can call a calculator inside of the shop program. So I'm going to be explaining to you now. I want us to test the subtract function. So what I will do is that we'll just replace add function here to subtract. So you see the result. Replace add here with what? Subtract. So look at the result that's changed. So our subtract function is also working. Now I want us to write another function in this place, and the next one is writing our divide, public static divide function. Yeah, the data type, don't forget the return type, like the return. Now for divide, because we need to use double, and I will explain the reason. Divide first number, first number, second number, like that. Then your curly braces. Within this curly brace, we want to return what? The result. So let's say double result equals to first number divided by second what? Number divided by second. So we return it. Now we collected an input, first number and second number, and we are returning what? The result of both. Now, so the reason why we are using double in this place, I'm going to show you the reason why we are using double. we'll see it by ourselves. So now I want us to test this. Replace your subtract function within the main. Replace it with what? Divide. By dividing two numbers, replace it with divide like that. So okay, it's a Lucy conversion. Okay, I think I did not save. Let's check. Let's check. Okay, we're collecting the same. We're collecting double. So let's use this. Let's use double in this place. Divide the results. Okay, okay. I now understand where the issue is coming from. So it's within our main. Since divide here, divide function is returning a double, which is a double precision number. So we're going to as well collect the result, store the result as a double data type. Now, so let's print it. Said this is the second result exception. Okay. Don't be scared of errors. Don't be scared of errors. Okay. So we are using this. This is part of, we use %f for that part. So %f. So it's giving us, this is the second result, 0.0. So this is giving us the wrong answer for now, and I'm going to figure out why. Why is this giving us the wrong answer? So the difference, you can see I'm storing the difference here as double. So I think I should change this to double and what? Double. So it's going to give us the result now. You can see now we're having the right answer. So don't be scared of errors. Like when you see any error as you are writing your program, in fact, be happy that you are seeing error. That's what I would just say. Be happy so that you'll be able to debug and you learn from it. Now let's move on. So the reason why we are using double is because we are going to be having in our calculation, we are going to be having points, decimal points in this place. And in order to store it, your integer data type, you can even try it. Your integer data type is not going to, let's convert, change this double in this place. Let's try it. Change this double to, change all the double in this place to int. Now, we want to see what the answer we are going to get. Your integer data type cannot store point numbers. So what we'll do is change all the double to int. Change all the double to int. Want to see the result of what we have. So clear this terminal and compile it again. So look at set possible Lucy conversion from double to int. So you cannot, you in fact, if it proceeds, probably I'm storing double here and I'm storing double as the result. Let's say I'm storing double. I'm storing the result in double and I'm receiving integers. Now let's see the result of this. Okay, doubles into results. So let's see the result if it's still going to give us the right answer. So it's not giving us the right answer at this point. It's not giving us the right answer. Now, I want us to return to the working words code double. Now, the final function we'll be writing within this class calculator, the final one we'll be writing is double. We'll be writing your multiplication, multiplying two numbers now. So public static, if you are multiplying two numbers, of course, we're expecting, let's say we're expecting integer as a result at this point, and int multiply two numbers, first number, that's first number, comma, second number. That's, you need to declare, you need to declare the type in second number, like that. Then we're expecting the result, that's the multiplication, the product. So int product, let's say product of this is going to be first number multiplied by second number. So we are going to return the result of this, the product of this, the product. Now we're having different function. First function add, second function subtract, third divide, and the fourth one for this calculator is what? To multiply two numbers. So I want us to test this one. We need to test it. We need to test this multiplication like that. Replace your divide here with multiplication. Also, you need to change the data type. Since we are returning an integer here, so let's convert it back to int. Integer. Now I want us to test it. Execute your code again. Then the result of this, it said the second result exception. Okay, for this part, since we're expecting an integer, we need to convert it and change that format specifier back to what? D. Decent D, yes, like that. Make sure you are saving, since you are writing with Notepad. You can see the result of multiplying two numbers now, 600 and what? 2000. So that's the result. So I want us to clear this part in our main, clear the whole code inside of your main, and we are left with empty code. There's nothing within our main. That means we cannot execute anything within our main. So looking at this code now, we have reusable codes in this place, and we have reusable code, and this is add, subtract, divide, and multiply. Now you can see that I'm imputing the parameters, like the one I said, int result equal to add, like this, and the add function, I'm imputing the parameter as 20 and 30. You can see I'm writing it right inside of my code. Think about, what if I want to write this in my terminal? What if I want a situation where I can write the 20, and I can write what the other result in my terminal, that's the 30. Now the two numbers, I can impute them in my terminal, and I'm going to receive a result now. So the same way we are able to output things in our terminal, now the Java itself provides a way for us to impute values through our terminal. So how do we collect user values now? There's a library, I will call it a package in Java called, let's import that package, import java.utility dot what scanner. So there's a package called scanner in Java, and this package itself enable us to be able to collect user input now. So what we'll be doing is we're going to create, and we'll explain this, we'll create an instance, a single occurrence of that of that input. So scanner input equals to new scanner. It's going to take a parameter called system.in, like this, system.in. So for this part, I'll be explaining to you the meaning of new. So because these are objects, these are discussions we'll be having in classes that is going to come. But for now, I just want you to follow through and just write, follow through. What you know in your mind that what we're trying to do is I want to collect what user input. So collecting user input, you can see I created an object, a new instance of this in this place called what input now. So now I want to prompt the user. So once we start our calculator, the first thing I want us to see, maybe we should just give it, let's give our calculator a name. Anybody can code. So system.out.print line. So welcome to anybody can code calculator, like that. Welcome to anybody can code calculator. The next thing is I want to be able to prompt the user now. I want to prompt the user to enter different numbers. So the first thing is we're declaring a variable now. So let's say system, the first thing is prompting. Let's prompt system.out.print line. So we want to prompt them to enter the first number. Say enter first number, like that. Then we'll declare a variable for the first number where we are going to store whatever the user is entering. So this is first number. So let's call it first value or first number either. This is first number equal to input dot next. Since we are receiving a next int, like that, since what we're expecting is an integer. Now let's print. I want us to print that. Okay, prompt the user to enter the second number. System.out.print line, enter second number, then int. We want to store that second number the user is entering now into, store the second number inside second number variable, like that. So input dot next int, yes, input dot next int. Now we want to store the result of that calculation of those inputs. Result equal to, you call the add function. Inside of the add function is taking in two arguments, like that. So the first argument is first number. Remember, writing this in text is just, remember that this is just a variable pointing to where something is stored. So first number and what second number, like that. So we are looking for a result. We want to print the result. So I'm going to print system.out.print. I'm going to use printf. So now system.out.print, the result of this calculation is %d, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, send comma, then you call the result here, result, and that's it. So you can see within the main, these are functions. Now you can't use the function without, you need to call them inside the main. And what we did was that we imported this particular Java package in this place. Now this class, this Java class now called scanner, we created a new instance of that class as input, and we collected a parameter within this place, and we welcomed people that want to use a calculator. In next is we are asking for user, we are prompting the user to enter the first number, store the first number somewhere like this. We prompt the user to enter the second number, store the second number. Then we called the function called add in this place like this. Then we passed that input, user input, as an argument inside of the add function now. And we are expecting a result. Then we printed the result out using the printf now. So they are called formatted input. We want to print because that's, and the reason I'm using print is because I want to write this statement in this place. The result of this calculation is %d. %d itself is a format specifier. You are going to be learning about format specifier as we move on in this episode. And so I want us to execute this code and see if we're having any. Make sure you are saving because we are using Notepad now. So execute the code. Javac. Then said welcome to anybody can code calculator. Enter first number. Let's say the first number is 20. Enter the second number. The second number is 30. So it said the result of the calculation is 50. So thank God we don't have any error. Of course, if there's error, we're still also going to debug it. We are going to solve the problem. I want us to be able to embrace error, embrace it. Don't be scared of error. So now you can see the addition function is working, and it's no longer like before where we are writing the two numbers directly inside our code. Now we are writing the two numbers inside of our terminal, just like a calculator will work. So run this program again. Said welcome to anybody can code 20 and 30. I want us to try another value. Let's say 400 and 300. So it's giving us a result called 700, like that. So now you can try out this function, the function of this calculator. You can call it in this place. Now for the next episode that will be coming, because now our calculator can only do one thing, though inside of it, or let me say behind the scene within the class of the calculator, we have those functions. Now we need a way of selecting. Imagine we want to select, because we don't want to just you are in this place now. We don't want to just come into our code. We don't want to just come here and the next thing is enter first number. We need a way of selecting. Do you want to add a number? Do you want to subtract? Do you want to divide? Do you want to multiply? So we need a way of selecting, and that is going to be taking us to the next topic, which is going to be on selection now. Because in programming in itself, there are three important parts now in programming in general. We have sequence, selection, and iteration. It's very, very important, if you understand these three things, that your program is going to start from the top, executing from the top down to the bottom, like that. And for the selection, imagine you'll be able to make decisions of, oh, if this is not this, let's do this. If this is not that, let's do this. They're just selection statement, decision making decisions. Iteration is doing something repeatedly. You want to do things over and over again, like that. So that's what we'll be doing in our program. So now for the next class on this same calculator, I'm going to be showing how to select. We are going to use this function right now. We use the function in our next class to be able to select. We'll write a selection statement and we'll be able to select which of the calculation we want to carry out. Is it to add? Is it to subtract? Is it to divide or multiply? So watch out for the next series. Watch out for the next episode. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Anybody Can Code channel. share with friends and anybody that is very interested in learning. Thank you.